Monkey Mondays, where we only cover the facts. Review of the 1 year mark of missing Michael Vaughan. If we wish to create a lasting peace, we must begin with the children. Gandhi. Nestled in the picturesque landscape of Piatt County, Idaho, Fruitland is a serene city flanked by the meandering Snake and Piatt rivers. This quaint settlement is strategically located along U.S. Route 95 within the Treasure Valley of southwest Idaho, approximately 50 miles west of Boise. On the edge of the Oregon border, Fruitland is an integral part of the Ontario micropolitan area. However, the tranquil town finds itself thrust into the global spotlight during a warm summer evening in 2021, not for its horticulture bounty, but due to the perplexing disappearance of 5-year-old Michael Vaughan. Michael's zest for life and curious natures paint a vibrant portrait of a young boy enamored with exploration. His days are filled with joyous pursuits, from digging in the dirt and playing Minecraft with his family to stargazing and enjoying superhero movies like The Mandalorian, Spider-Man, and Batman. Michael loves monster trucks, Hot Wheels, Legos, and outdoor adventures, including trips to the park, camping, water parks, and amusement centers. His favorite activities also include reading books like Harold and the Purple Crayon, enjoying pizza and macaroni and cheese, and being a Seahawks fan. On July 27th, 2021, Brandineal, Michael's devoted mother, anticipates a day of work before a well-deserved break, leaving her children with their father, Tyler. She looks forward to reuniting with her family. Brandy calls home around 4 p.m. to check on her family during her lunch break, while Michael was engrossed in his Nintendo Switch. Michael, engrossed in his innocent pursuits, awaits his mother's return, unaware of the tragedy about to unfold. However, a call from Tyler around 7 p.m. shatters her sense of normalcy. That evening spirals into despair and anguish. Michael's disappearance, initially met with disbelief, soon launches a frantic search as the gravity of the situation dawns on his family and the community. As law enforcement and volunteers scour the neighborhood, CCTV footage reveals Michael's final moments, showing him knocking on doors in search of companionship before vanishing. In the wake of Michael's disappearance, Fruitland unites in grief. The community clings to hope, praying for his safe return amidst the darkness. Despite extensive search efforts and nearly 850 leads, Michael's whereabouts remain unknown. Amidst the uncertainty, Michael's family clings to hope, determined to reunite with their beloved son. In June of 2022, the community gathered to commemorate Michael's 6th birthday, a poignant reminder of their longing for his safe return.
Please, please, bring Michael home, please.
Michael's vibrant spirit and infectious enthusiasm continue to resonate within the community, serving as a beacon of hope. As the search for Michael Vaughan persists, authorities urge anyone with information to come forward. Contact the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST or the Fruitland Police Department at 208-642-6006. Michael Joseph Vaughan, born on June 24th, 2016 in Fruitland, Idaho, is a playful and energetic boy cherished by his family and community. His endearing nickname Monkey reflects his lively demeanor and love for exploration. On this evening of July 27th, 2021, as Brandy departs for work, Tyler watches over the children at their home on Southwest 9th Street. During this time, Michael reportedly ventures to a neighbor's home before returning, marking his last confirmed sighting. Despite exhaustive search efforts, including tracking dogs, no trace of Michael is found beyond a piece of farmland adjacent to his home. Controversially, an Amber Alert is not issued due to stringent Idaho state law criteria. As the investigation continues, Michael's family remains resolute in their belief that he will return home. Looking back at what was known as the 1 year mark of missing Michael Vaughan. 1 year without Michael, a family's nightmare, accounts unanswered questions. Summer of 2022 Heat in Fruitland, Idaho felt much the same as it did 1 year ago. The streets were quiet, the familiar hum of a small town evening settling in as the sun dips low. But for one family, time has not moved forward, not in the way it should. July 27th, 2022 marks 1 year since Michael Vaughan vanished without a trace. The front yard where he once played, where his laughter used to echo, now stands as a painful reminder of the moment everything changed. Posters with Michael's bright blue eyes and golden blonde hair still line the streets. His face is printed on flyers, billboard, and news headlines. But despite a year of searching, the question that haunted this town from the beginning remains the same. Where is Michael? A summer evening that changed everything. That fateful evening in July 2021 started like any other. Michael, affectionately known as Monkey, was at home with his devoted father, Tyler Vaughan, and siblings, while his mother, brandineal, finished a long day at work. He played on his Nintendo Switch, unaware that within an hour, his world and the world of everyone who loved him would be turned upside down. Sometime between 6:40 p.m. and 7 p.m., Michael disappeared. Tyler, only momentarily stepped away, tending to his infant daughter, returned to the living room to find Michael gone. At first, panic hadn't set in. Perhaps Michael had slipped outside, eager for adventure, as he often was. But as the minutes ticked by, Tyler's frantic calls went unanswered. He searched the house, the yard, the street. Nothing. Michael had vanished. At 7:04 p.m., Tyler called Brandy at work. Then at 7:21, the call was made to 911. The Fruitland Police Department responded immediately. Neighbors joined in, scouring backyards, sheds, and fields. Flashlights cut through the darkness as search parties worked deep into the night. Michael was nowhere to be found. What was known by the 1 year mark? In the days and weeks that followed, hundreds of law enforcement officers, search dogs, helicopters, and drones combed through every possible location. They searched fields, irrigation ditches, Snake River, and even local landfills. But Michael left behind no trail, no clues. At first, authorities considered that Michael might have wandered away, but by November 2021, Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff publicly stated, "We now believe Michael was abducted." The shift in the investigation was devastating. The idea that Michael had simply gotten lost was painful, but the thought of someone taking him, that someone out there knew what happened, was almost unbearable. Key pieces of information emerged. A man walking near Southwest 9th Street in dark clothing and a white t-shirt was seen in the area, but his identity remained unknown. The Vaughn family was no longer a focus of the investigation, and the family fully cooperated with authorities.
Long, thorough investigation. The family is not a focus of our investigation at this point. They are continuing to fully cooperate with us. Today, as members of this community, we continue to agonize with the family.
By July 2022, the police had followed over 1,000 tips and conducted hundreds of interviews, but still no suspects had been publicly named. Michael's case stretched beyond Idaho. His name appeared in news reports across the country. His face shone on national television, and even the FBI joined the search. But despite a massive effort, there were no confirmed sightings of Michael. A mother's plea, a community's hope. For Brandineal and Tyler Vaughan, every day without their son is unbearable. Brandy has begged for answers, pleaded with the public, and held on to hope that Michael is out there somewhere. In a vigil marking the 1 year anniversary, Brandy stood before crowds of supporters, tears in her eyes. "We need Michael home," she said, her voice breaking. "If someone knows something, please, please come forward." The $50,000 reward for information still stands. His missing child posters still line store windows and bulletin boards. His family refuses to stop searching, but the silence remains. Where is Michael? At the 1 year mark of Michael's disappearance, Fruitland has not forgotten. the police remain dedicated to the case. The community still holds out hope, and Michael's family still waits desperately for the day their little boy comes home. As time stretches on, one thing is certain: Michael Vaughan is still missing, and someone out there knows what happened. If you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers of Southwest Idaho, 208-343-COPS, or email findmichael@fruitland.org. It's time to bring Michael home. July 22nd, 2022, review of Fruitland Police Department update.
So since the evening of July 27th, 2021, the Fruitland Police Department, the Idaho State Police, the FBI, law enforcement agencies, and law enforcement agencies across the country have investigated the disappearance of 5-year-old Michael Vaughan. We haven't stopped. Every day we have unfinished business, and I'll tell you that every day is an anniversary of the disappearance for Michael Vaughan, for us. Michael Joseph Vaughan was last seen at his residence on Southwest 9th Street at approximately 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, July 27, 21. Law enforcement received the first call by 911 at 7:21 p.m. and we began an immediate search of the area. So you need to know the first missing and endangered alert went out at 8:20 with different alerts to email, phone calls, text messages being issued to area residents until 11:20 that night. Michael's image and information went out to law enforcement nationwide on a database called the National Crime Information Center, or NCIC. And Michael's also been entered into the State of Idaho Missing Person Clearinghouse and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The Fruitland Police, Payette Police, and Payette County deputies and citizens searched through the night until support arrived the following morning. The ensuing response was immense. We had over 100 law enforcement officers from federal, state, and local agencies, including the FBI Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, along with trained search teams, converge on our small city of Fruitland. I would say that if we could have dammed the Snake River, we would have. So let's talk about since the disappearance of Michael. When I tell you our investigation has been intense and daily, I can assure you that it has been. Since the disappearance, detectives and investigators across the country have logged tens of thousands of man-hours to bring this case to conclusion. We've gathered an immense amount of data and continue to work through it with experts from several agencies. We've applied for and served over 27 search warrants. So in our efforts to develop a detailed timeline of events leading up to Michael's appearance, we've processed over 1,000 leads. So we've cleared many of these leads, but not all have been cleared because some require assistance from out of state, more investigators, and probably more importantly, just time to work these things through to make sure we can bring each lead to a conclusion. And we believe someone out there will ultimately provide us with some information that'll help us solve this case. It's important to note that as we continue to refine our timeline, we now believe that Michael disappeared in a smaller window of time, and that's probably between the time of 6:40 p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. on the 27th. The man seen walking through the area of the splash pad of Crestview Park leading up to the time of Michael's disappearance, he's not come forward and he has not been identified. So the man's described as a white male adult, late 20s, early 30s. He was seen wearing black shorts, a white t-shirt with cut-off sleeves, dark colored shoes, and a hat. So I need to make it perfectly clear that he is not a suspect, but we need to talk to him so we can determine his whereabouts and see if he witnessed anything that would be helpful in this investigation. So I plan on releasing a photograph of that individual in my Facebook official posting later today, so you'll all have that. You need to understand that this is a multifaceted investigation, so many leads are working. We're working many leads at the same time. So some leads are temporarily abandoned as priority leads come in, and that's happened to us on multiple occasions. Once abandoned and we clear the priority leads, then we pick those things right back up and we're working on them again until we can work them to conclusion, right? It takes an intense effort and a lot of work to document all of the leads as they're coming in. And at the conclusion of this investigation, I'm hopeful we'll find the answers. It's important that our case is organized and very strong. We'll tell you. I'd like to introduce a new partnership today. It's called the Homeward Bound Program. The program was first started by Trooper Renee Padgett with the Washington State Patrol in 2005. She was working with the WSB Commercial Vehicle Division. Trooper Padgett worked with then Gordon Trucking with a vision that posters of missing children being displayed on sides of semi-trailers traveling around the country could bring much-needed awareness and possibly recovery. With the help of Tanea Parmenter with the Idaho State Police, we've been able to partner with the Homeward Bound program, which will carry Michael's information across the country on semi-trailers. As designed by Trooper Paget, this will expand the Michael's case on the interstates, highways, and roads of our country, which will bring new leads and potentially help us bring Michael home. We're hoping to have semi-trailers outfitted with Michael's information near the end of August and get those on the road. I would ask anyone with any information to continue to send tips to findmichael.org. If you are out of state and you have information that you think would help us bring Michael home, I'm encouraging you to contact your local law enforcement team. They will then get in touch with us and we can start working those leads as they come in. Please share what you have. You can also contact Crime Stoppers at 343-COPS. You can remain anonymous. The reward for the information leading to Michael's safe return has grown to $52,992. This fund has been maintained by the city of Fruitland. It's secure. This will remain in place until Michael comes home. I just ask that you continue to pray for Michael, for strength for his family, and the steadfast resolve for those who are working to bring him home. Thank you for standing firm with Michael's family and our continued law enforcement efforts.
News Nation Live, 1 year missing, with Brandy and Tyler's first national interview.
Welcome back. Tonight in our missing series, a renewed search for a 5-year-old boy named Michael Monkey Vaughan. We brought you his story for the first time last year, but tonight, the first national TV interview with both of Michael's parents and newly released photos of a man police say was nearby at the time of Michael's disappearance. Correspondent Marky Martin is joining us live. And Marky, you've been with this case for some time now. You traveled to Idaho last winter to speak with his mother, but now you've had the chance to speak to both of his parents. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Natasha, so we heard from Michael's dad, Tyler, for the very first time this week. He was the parent who was actually at home at the time that Michael went missing. And today marks 1 year since that little boy, who is lovingly known as Monkey, walked out the door and never came home.
We haven't stopped. Every day we have unfinished business, and I'll tell you that every day is an anniversary of the disappearance from Michael Vaughan.
It's been 365 days, a year of searching with no answers. For the 5-year-old Fruitland boy whose 2021 disappearance garnered nationwide attention and support.
Hi, what are you doing, bud?
Last July, Michael Vaughan was at home with his dad and baby sister while mom was at work. Family says he walked out, searching for neighborhood kids to play with.
He went to a neighbor's house. He went to another neighbor's house and another neighbor's house.
Last winter, Michael's mom, Brandy, invited our News Nation team to their Idaho home, walking us through her son's last moments there.
He would have come out of the garage. The front door is pretty hard to get out of, and you can hear that opening.
At the time, his dad, Tyler, declined to speak with us. But this week, that changed. The couple sitting together for their first national TV interview.
It doesn't feel like a year. It's been an eternity.
Tyler, a lot of people curious why, if you were the one at home, why you haven't done a lot of talking with the media. What's your response to people who want to know that question?
Because I was the one at home. I feel like because I was the responsible party. I don't like being in the public eye at all, and it's because I, to some extent blame myself.
For most of the afternoon, Tyler says Michael played with his monster trucks and Nintendo Switch, and that around dinner time, he ordered a pizza and went down the hall to change the baby's diaper. When he came back out, Michael wasn't there.
Searched the house, searched the backyard, went out in the front yard, jumped in the van, called Brandy.
He says he raced around the neighborhood and was the one who called 911.
The Fruitland Police, Payette Police, and Payette County deputies and citizens searched through the night until support arrived the following morning.
In the last year, more than 3,000 acres and nearby river have been searched. No suspects have been named, but authorities say they have persons of interest. Fruitland Police asking for the public's help in identifying this man, seen in newly released photos walking in a nearby park at the time of Michael's disappearance. And to this day, nobody has been cleared, including Tyler and Brandy.
What do you tell people who say, do they know more than they're letting on?
A lot of the speculation online is based in fantasy land.
Law enforcement and God knows our truth, and we'll stand firm and stand strong.
Fruitland Police confirming with News Nation the couple has cooperated with the investigation. Today, Michael would be 6, his parents grieving another summer without him, a summer they say should be spent playing and camping as a family.
Time for bed now.
But I still want to look at some stars.
He is pure joy, love, excitement, much excitement, energy, lots of energy. You can't not fall in love with him.
both Tyler and Brandy tell me they do believe that their son is out there alive. They still believe he's coming home. And Natasha, I asked both of them, what would justice look like in your eyes? Brandy's answer was if her son comes back alive and well, she could find it in her heart to forgive. Tyler said he just wants his child home. Legal punishment would take care of the rest. And I do also have to mention, to this day, Fruitland Police, they have declined to go on camera for an interview with our crew since day one. Natasha.
Marky, I can't imagine what these last several months have been like for this family. Can I ask, do Michael's parents fear the case going cold at this point? What is being done to keep his name and face on people's radars?
Yeah, it's a great question. And actually, they do not fear this case growing cold. They say there's new tips coming in all the time. They're actually excited about some new technology that's going to aid in some of the searches. And one of the biggest criticisms of this case has been Michael Vaughan never received an Amber Alert. His case did not fall under the criteria for the state of Idaho. It's outraged a lot of people. A lot of people think things could be different if that happened. But also last week, Fruitland Police announcing they've teamed up with the Homeward Bound program, which advocates for missing children. Starting in August, Natasha, there will be semi-trailers crisscrossing across the country with his name and face on them.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Meanwhile, speaking of new tips, what else have police said about that newly released photo of that man walking by the home around the time Michael went missing? Do we know anything about him?
Yeah, so we actually don't know a lot. In that police press conference that was held last week, they said they'd be releasing those photos. They did a couple days later, and the police chief just saying, we know these are grainy. This is not a suspect or even a person of interest, but this person was walking near the splash pad area of a nearby park leading up to when Michael disappeared. So they said they just want to find this person, have him come forward to talk to him, see if he saw anything. Maybe he saw something he didn't even realize he was witnessing at the time. They just want this person to come forward. Natasha.
All right, Marky Martin, we certainly appreciate it. And I know that family appreciates you keeping their boy top of mind as well. Thank you. And if you have any information, of course, on the disappearance of Michael Vaughan, please contact the Fruitland Police Department at the number or email address that you see on your screen.
KTVB News review of Tyler and Brandy's interview.
So you just got off the press conference. Can you tell me a little bit about how you're feeling about how it went and what type of information that they released and how the investigation is going in your perspective?
There's a lot of stuff that they're working on that is new stuff that made me very hopeful that I'm not going to go into. But we both know that they're working tirelessly. So I always feel good when coming out of there. They work very hard.
And when you say hopeful, can you kind of explain what that means to you with these new leads, but what they're looking into?
We both tried to stay hopeful through the whole thing, but the things that they're working on make me hopeful that we'll have answers eventually, and he'll come home.
He's coming home, and they're not going to give up. Ghost, and what I can say is that they're doing everything they possibly can. Everything they possibly can to find Michael.
I think they're doing everything they can to find Michael.
We are working with law enforcement, 100%.
Back in December, you told me that you believe Michael was taken. Do you still feel that same way today? And has there been new developments or anything that's made you feel more strongly about that?
Yes, sir. Wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. And we're going to find him. And whoever decided that they could take Michael, they need, or has information, they need to come forward.
Tyler, can you walk us through just that night? You were home with the kids. Can you just walk us through everything that happened last July?
Went back to change bug. Michael was playing on his Switch. She was sleeping, so it took a minute for me to rouse her, and then I changed a diaper and ordered pizza. Probably took me, 15 minutes maybe, and came back out and went outside to smoke, and Monkey wasn't outside, so I figured he was inside with his brother, wasn't inside, and then I started to freak out, and it's all kind of a blur from there, just running all over the neighborhood.
What time was that?
I ordered the pizza at 6:40. I really couldn't tell you any other time to stand behind besides that with 100% certainty. I don't even know if that's when I entered the order or when I finished the order or what. The receipt said 6:40.
And were you in the house when you ordered, or were you outside?
No, I was in the back bedroom with Doug.
And following, I mean, when you realized that you didn't know where Michael was, I mean, what did you do then? Did you knock on neighbors' doors?
I came outside and I looked down the street and I hopped in the car and called Brandy and drove to the splash pad and then all over the neighborhood, walking, running, driving. Like I couldn't tell you where. I mean, I didn't leave the neighborhood. But
Is he like to you?
he's my best little buddy. We do, comic books, monster trucks. He's the sweetest little boy in the world. He's always trying to help.
Oh.
He's perfect with his sister. They have an amazing relationship.
Both his sisters.
Both his sisters. He's a wonderful, wonderful little boy, and he doesn't deserve this. Space out there. Don't let the story go away.
Bring him home.
Bring him home. Just hope that, somebody finally sees one of these, or somebody finally gets the courage to come forward and give that tip that leads us to him, or maybe the person that has him, drop him off at a hospital or a police station or whatever. Just let him come back home.
Does it feel like it's been a year?
It was a very quick year and long year at the same time. Like time is a weird
Can't be
thing.
a year. It can't be.
How do you go through every day without him being found? I mean, it's been a year. What does your day-to-day look like? I mean, do you just...
Every day is a struggle. It's kind of how we do it is day to day. I don't want to get out of bed every day. But we do it, and we try to keep our stuff together.
Try.
And just get through every day. Being every day gets us closer to being whole again. We got the monkeyslaw out there, and we just know we can't give up, and so we have to have hope. And as hard as that is sometimes to hold, we have each other, we have family, and we maintain that hope that he's coming home.
Please. If somebody knows something, please. Use your strength, use your courage. Please come forward. Michael deserves to be home with us and our family. We are begging as a family, as a whole, as a community, as the world. We're begging, please have your strength and courage to give us something to bring Michael home. And Monkey, we love you.
KTVB News Report, July 27th, 2022.
Well, checking in now on this story we've been following for 1 year. Today marks 1 year since now 6-year-old Michael Vaughan from Fruitland was reported missing. Earlier this week, Fruitland Police held a news conference to share the latest on the ongoing investigation. KTVB's Tristan Lewis had an exclusive interview with Michael's parents. To read the full story and watch the interview, head to our website, ktvb.com. Meantime, on this anniversary of his disappearance, those supporting the search for Michael are asking people to put something blue outside their house, such as a ribbon, a balloon, or a light. Blue is Michael's favorite color.
Staceywondra, Day.
One of the suspects in Michael Vaughan's disappearance will spend a year in prison for violating conditions of his supervised release. Staceywondra has been in and out of federal custody for a couple of years after pleading guilty to an unrelated gun crime. His wife, Sarah, who is also a suspect, is in prison until at least 2026 on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence unrelated to the Fruitland boys' disappearance.
Michael Joseph Vaughan, lovingly known as Monkey, is a lively and adventurous boy with a heart full of joy. Born on June 24, 2016, to Brandineal and Tyler Vaughan, he lights up every room with his bright blue eyes, golden blonde hair, and boundless curiosity. His playful spirit and love for exploring the world around him make him unforgettable to those who know him. But on July 27, 2021, everything changes. At just 5 years old, Michael disappears from his neighborhood in Fruitland, Idaho. One moment he is there, full of energy, laughter, and life, and the next he is gone. He is last seen near his home on Southwest 9th Street and Arizona Avenue between 6:40 and 7 p.m., wearing a light blue Minecraft t-shirt, dark blue boxer briefs, and sandals. Despite relentless searches by law enforcement and the community, Michael is still missing. Authorities confirm he was abducted, but his whereabouts remain unknown. His family refuses to give up hope, and the search for Michael continues. The Fruitland Police Department urges anyone with information to come forward. If you know anything, call or text 208-343-COPS or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Every piece of information matters. Michael deserves to be found.
You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop.
He's coming home.
A mother's unyielding hope. The search for Bennett Blackwell. Passage of time is not less than Deborah Tinsley Blackwell's longing to see her son again. Ever since Bennett Blackwell was abducted by his father on May 6, 1996, she has held on to hope, cherishing every new age progression image that offers a glimpse of what he might look like today. I want to be able to greet this young man when he comes home, Deborah says. I continue to wish and hope that wherever he is healthy, and he is free from all harm and danger. For families of long-term missing children, age-progressed images are both a lifeline and a painful reminder of the years lost. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children provide these updates renderings every 2 years until a child turns 18, and every 5 years thereafter.
It's been 23 years, and I still have hope. I still have hope. After more than 20 years, I still think that that day is going to come. My hope at this point is that Bennett will become mature enough that he will start wondering about his family. You know, who are his cousins? Who are his, who are his aunts and who are his relatives? And maybe start looking for himself and, bring it back to, the fact that we're both searching for each other.
Deborah describes the experience of receiving them as deeply emotional. Kind of always want to open it alone, she admits. You kind of get stuck in time. I still see that 3-year-old little face. Because Bennett was only 3 years old when he was taken, Deborah fears he may not even realize he was abducted. She hopes that one day questions will arise, questions about his birth certificate, his missing relatives, or even a childhood song he somehow knows but cannot explain. Before he disappeared, Deborah says her husband, Reuben Bennett Blackwell Sr., displayed alarming behavior, extreme mood swings, fits of rage, even knocking over their son's fish tank. Concerned for their safety, she took legal action to have him temporarily removed from their home in Clinton, Maryland. But after he was served with papers, he took Bennett, drove away, and never returned. Initially, he remained in contact with relatives, hinting at self-harm and suggesting he might take Bennett's life as well. Then he vanished without a trace. Now, nearly 28 years later, Deborah is still waiting for answers. If you have any information about Bennett Blackwell or his father, please call 1-800-THE-LOST, 1-800-843-5678. Hope is why we're here.